This is Manufacturing Revival Radio, coming to you live from FabTech 2016 at McCormick Place in Chicago, Illinois. This special edition is brought to you by Definity Partners, dedicated to developing people and driving improvement through operations optimization, technology solutions, and education. And now, on with the discussion.
We're back. This is Manufacturing Revival Radio. I'm your host, Todd Youngblood, broadcasting live from FabTech 2015, McCormick Place, Chicago, Illinois. I cannot believe the lineup of guests that Definity Partners has put together here. To just all kinds of interesting topics, one after another. And this next one is near and dear to my heart. A lot of my career spent in this part of the industry. Please welcome Dave Ferguson. He's the president of My Solutions. Dave, thanks for stopping by, taking some time.
Thanks for having me.
Just to get us kicked off here, tell us a little bit about yourself. How'd you get to where you are?
Well, it started as a young boy in high school. I'm not too young now, but in high school, when they had the Apple II computers and those old computers, my dad would come home and do estimating, and I'll stay up all night doing estimates on paper and pencil. And therefore, I decided I like computers. I wrote him a quoting estimating package on the IBM and Apple computers, and it just morphed into this full-blown ERP, MRP type system through the years.
That's a big leap from a VisiCalc to an ERP
I remember
VisiCalc. Talk a little bit about My Solutions.
My Solutions was founded in 2007, and we have good growth. We're an ERP software company located in Orange County. We have offices in Chicago, Florida, Wisconsin, Minnesota. And we are employee-centric, customer-centric, customer service. We do all the development in-house, and we do all our support and everything because we wanted to keep it as an American-made type product to our industry.
Now, when I think of ERP, and almost I get in my head clouds up, it's just such an all-encompassing, holistic view of a manufacturing organization. Talk about some of the issues that a company may have that says, you know what, I need to talk to My Solutions, and they need to think about their version of ERP.
Yes, a lot of people want ERP, and they need ERP in some ways. You could actually have ERP that's based on like accounting. So a lot of people have like QuickBooks, and there's a lot more to ERP than just accounting, which is like from the estimating quoting stage through the purchasing requirements, bill of material, to job tracking with barcoding or tablets in the shop floor. So when people come to us to look for software, it's a very large decision, very timely, not expensive decision, but it's a very lengthy decision process.
Right.
Because it's not just one person that needs something. For example, sales needs X features. You need to actually try to satisfy a lot of people in the company, from purchasing, from accounting, to the shop floor people.
Got to keep everybody happy.
Right.
Talk about how you engage with the customer. They're saying, okay, maybe I want to do this. Just talk through the process in the conversations and how you would help a potential customer just walk through that decision process.
What we try to do is more as like a consultative type service. We go on site, and a customer we are just at, we actually spent 3-4 hours in their shop, walking around their shop, seeing how they process now. Because we don't want to switch somebody from some of their basic business logic, because everybody does things a little different. But we want to try to see how we could fit in, but also make improvements at the same time. So you have to actually understand the customer, and that's the key, is understand the customer during this cycle.
You said the example you used was walking around the shop floor. I mean, do you also go talk to the accounting and the sales and all those other departments? Or can you really get started on an implementation with a narrower view?
We really like to talk to everybody, because the package or different ERP packages affect different people at different experience levels. So you could have a person that's not a very good typer, afraid of computers, and then you could have an IT person that's very excited. So you need to make different people comfortable.
Yeah. You touched on customizing a little bit. Talk about how much customization makes sense. What you said was everybody's a little bit different and a little bit unique in how they do it. Does it make sense in your mind, or how do I strike the balance between using a standard kind of approach that's built into the out-of-the-box system, if you will, and adding a lot of customization and tweaks and tunings to it?
Yeah, when I describe customization, I take it to the degree of you want your base product. You want to stay in the upgrade path. There's a lot of companies that have customized their software products so much they can't upgrade anymore. So it's a full changing of the software if they ever want some other improvements. What we do on our customization is at the reporting and diagnostics level, so you could have all your different reports. They're all customizable, but that doesn't change the base software. But also you have dashboards. Dashboards are very popular now with business intelligence.
Right.
So you want dashboards that are customizable to the user's needs. And you just need to pull that data from the database. So it will still allow the upgrade path, but you get the full features of any of the customizations you require.
Talk a little bit about how I financially justify an ERP system. Again, it's a very comprehensive kind of thing. I can implement it a piece at a time, but from my view anyway, it's a little bit intimidating because I am going to have an impact on all different pieces of my business. Just talk through, how do I figure out what to invest at what pace to make sure that I'm getting a good return on my investment?
In my experience, one of the biggest returns on your investment comes when you purchase the software product. Is somebody needs to be the person in charge on their side of the company. They need to be able to push the software through. There's a lot of implementations that roll slowly out, and it's not because the software's not ready or people don't want to do it, but there's not somebody on the other side pushing and leading the charge. You need somebody, an advocate, to push. That's how a lot of failures occur when there's not an advocate on the other side.
Is that just resistance to change? I mean, is that what you're talking about here? If I need somebody to, you didn't say beat them over the head. Those are my words. Right. But is it resistance to change that makes a lot of the implementations difficult?
I think it's being scared. The resistance, not because they don't want to do it, but they're nervous. Right? Because every day they're entering orders and they're invoicing. So if something goes wrong and they can't ship the parts to the customer, they'll get nervous.
Okay, they get, all right. Yeah. Fear of the unknown, maybe more than anything else. Another issue that I hear about quite a lot in these kinds of implementations is integration. As comprehensive as an ERP is, I'm always trying, and your customers are always trying to integrate it with some old piece of software they have or another vendor's thing. Talk about how you do the systems integration.
A systems integration goes from like an open platform. So if, let's say, it's just a SQL Server database. SQL Server database is open. People could grab data. Different packages could suck data out and push data in. But then you have open APIs, which is more of an application interface where they would use DLL, let's say, if we want to go technical, to grab data out with a common interface. But then you could go to the cloud-based systems where they're using APIs like SOAP or JSON and actually be able to extract data and push data. And that's getting more and more popular with smartphones and tablets where they are all using apps. And all these apps need to gather data from disparate sources.
The bring your own device idea, right?
Right. Yeah. So you need to actually be able to have an open API in your system so that data could be easily extracted.
Talk a little bit about common mistakes that people make in analyzing what their requirements are and in implementing such a system.
I find it amazing that if you go into a company and you say, go to each department, estimating, orders, purchasing, and you go through every department and you ask them, tell me what you do. Show me all the reports you print every day. Almost every time, once the implementation starts, they will come back to you and say, oh, I needed this report, and this report also, after the fact. It is amazing.
Didn't I ask you what's right?
Don't freely share. It's not that they don't want to freely share, but they're not thinking what they do every day. It's just natural for them. So you have to prod them along quite a bit, saying, are you sure? Okay, tomorrow, what would you do? Right? You really have to push them.
What other common mistakes? I can see that one because whatever issue I dealt on today, that's the one I'm going to talk about. And the thing that happens once a week or once a month, I may not think of until after the fact, as you said.
Another common mistake, I think, is creating standards for the company. A lot of companies don't have standards. Like standard
lack of creating standards. Okay.
Lack of creating the standards.
I was wondering where you were going there for a minute.
Because you'll have 3 or 4 different departments putting part numbers in the system, and if they all put the same part number in 4 different ways, you'll then have data that's not too accurate. So you need to be able to clean up that data. Yeah. But thinking about standards, and that's what people don't think about on the cost of implementing something like this. It will be very good at the end, but there's some upfront activities you need to do to get to that.
Yeah. What about trends? Pull your crystal ball out here for a little bit. What do you see coming?
What I see coming, more shop floor tablets. People do that now. You can print out dispatch lists and do data collection with your tablets and stuff. I think that's becoming more and more possible. And also the cloud-based ERPs, they're going well. I find the cost justification is melding a little bit because it's not always cheaper to go to cloud versus standalone. But I think people will start realizing that. And also the price of cloud, I believe, is probably going to drop considerably. Because there's more and more people out on the cloud, the competition.
And more economies of scale and everything else. Well, Dave, I wish we had more time to talk about some more of these issues here, but we're really coming up on our limits. Before I let you go, though, I want to make sure that folks know how to get a hold of you and how they can learn more about My Solution.
Yes, you can visit our website at mie-solutions.com and send us a note. Go to our website and see what products we offer and give us a chance for your business.
Outstanding. Dave Ferguson, president of My Solutions, thanks for taking some time out to share your insights today.
Thanks for the opportunity.
That wraps this segment. On behalf of my guest, Dave Ferguson, I'm Todd Youngblood, Manufacturing Revival Radio. We'll be back in just a few minutes.